Hi guys, today we're going to do our second part of our notes for volume and surface area, and there's only one more shape that we have to talk about that's on our formula sheet, and that's a pyramid. So if we look at our formulas for the pyramid for volume and surface area, there's a lot of variables in here, and a couple of them we haven't seen in any formulas so far. And remember, you never have to memorize these formulas, they're on our formula sheet, but we do need to know what the variables represent so that we know what to plug in. So just a recap of some things, the ones that we already have seen before are the L and the H. H stands for the regular height, so remember if you're looking at the pyramid, it would be from the center all the way to the top of that pyramid in the middle. And L stands for the slant height, which is kind of that diagonal height on the side. Remember that you might have to find one of those using Pythagorean theorem at some times if it's not given to you. The two new ones are the capital B and P. So B comes up in both of our formulas. See the big B there and then in the middle there in the volume. And the P is only in the surface area. Big B, or capital B, stands for the area of the base. And so if we look at the base, this base is a square. So to find the area of that, we would do length times width. Whereas P stands for the perimeter of the base. And so remember, for perimeter, we're just going to be adding up around the outside. Okay, so now that we know what our variables stand for, just a couple of things. The shape of this pyramid is a square, which sometimes the base is a square, sometimes it's a rectangle, and then sometimes it's a triangle. So it could be all three of these. This year, you're not going to see ones that are triangles, but you will see ones that are rectangles or squares. But just know that in the future, you could have a pyramid that has a triangle for a base. Okay. If it was a triangle, to find, again, B is the area of the base. To find the area of that triangle, it'd be 1/2 times base times height. But the ones that we're going to see this year, rectangle and square, both kind of have the same formula for area of the base. It's just length times width. So whatever that length and width are. For the square, they'll be the same number. Rectangle, obviously, two different numbers. For surface area, again, the bottom of the pyramid, it could be a triangle or a rectangle or a square, but rectangles and squares have the same formula, so we kind of just leave it at that. Again, it has big B and P in this formula. If it was a triangle for big B, we would use 1/2 times base times height because that's the area of a triangle. And for a square, it would just be length times width, or for a rectangle, length times width. Remember, to find the perimeter, we're just going to add up all the sides. Okay. If you haven't filled in all these blanks on your notes, please pause the video and make sure you have everything filled in. Okay. Our first examples. Okay, here's our first one. We're going to find the volume of this pyramid. So just to remember ourselves, the volume of the pyramid is 1/3 times base, or big B, times height, right? Big B, capital B, is the area of the base. Okay, so let's find the area of the base first. Since this is a rectangle, area of the base is length times width. So in this case, our length is 10 and our width is 8, right? So to find the area of that, we're going to do 10 times 8, which is 80. So now we have all the numbers that we need to fill into our original formula. So the 1/3 just stays a 1/3, right? And then we just said that the area of the base was 80, so that's what I plugged in for my B here. And then the height is 6 because that's the height in the center of our pyramid, right? Straight up and down. Okay, now the slant height, regular height. And then to get our final answer, we're just going to multiply all of these. Okay, remember when you're putting that 1/3 in your calculator, you can do 1 divided by 3 if you're using the handheld one. If you're looking at the Desmos one, they put fractions in, there's a fraction button. But if you use the handheld one, just do 1 divided by 3 and don't round your decimal. Okay, our second example, we're going to find the surface area. So to remind ourselves our formula, we have 1/2 LP plus B. Okay, so the first part of this formula, we need perimeter and we're going to need the area of the base. So first, perimeter. Our perimeter around the bottom, remember perimeter, you add up all the sides, and so this is a square, so all the sides are 5. So we're going to add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 because we have 4 sides, right? So the perimeter is going to be 20, and that's what P is going to be when we plug it into our formula. For big B, we're finding the area of the base. So that's length times width. Okay, so in this case, it's 5 times 5, because both length and width are 5. And then our final area there is 25. Okay, so now if we're going to take those numbers and we're going to plug them into our formula. So we have 1/2. L is the slant height, so remember it's that diagonal height across the side, which they gave us, okay, 8.4. P is the perimeter, which we found, which is 20, plus area of the base, which was 25. So now I'm going to multiply these first three numbers together, 1/2 times 8.4 times 20. I got 82. And then to find our final surface area, we're going to add those two together. And my final answer here is 109. Okay, now that we've done a couple of examples, you're going to try some in the U-Try, and it's a mixture of a bunch of different shapes. So some of them are from last time, and then some of them are exactly like we did today. You can use your formula sheet and make sure you get it checked when you are ready.